Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to Queen Amadai TV, More Than Meets the Third Eye. So, as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Don't forget that you can follow me on Instagram at Dr. _ A Shakur. You can follow me on TikTok at Dr. A Shakur and on Twitter at DGoddess27. Okay, also, don't forget to subscribe to the website, queenamadishakur.com, so that I can add you to my email list. All right, so let's get ready to get into it. Hello, Mr. Hotel, Sexy One. Juju is in the house. Silent D. All right. Claudette, TJ. Okay, Delia is in the house. King Lejeune. Aaron, Samantha. Okay. Let's get into it. All right. Shouts out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. I see you, Danielle. I see you, beloved. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. This is going to be a brief presentation. Hey, Divine Order. This is going to be a brief presentation, beloveds. I just want you all to know. I was going to do a class tomorrow, but I think I'm going to wait until next Saturday. However, I will go live briefly on here tomorrow, or I may upload a video. But yeah, so I'm going to do the class on next Saturday. But here's the thing. Hey, Howard. Sexy One's in the house. Mommy, Pearly, Juju. Okay, but so here's the thing. Some of these presentations, are time consuming and they're kind of lengthy. So with that all being said, some of them are going to be shorter. Okay, just so you all know, because some of these presentations are whole classes, like the metacognition, the one yesterday about the demons and all that stuff. So thank you, Mr. Hotel. Said Queen, you look amazing. Thank you. Hey, Vince, I am from the UK. Pearly from the UK. So I'm sorry, Pearly, you're not from the UK. I'm thinking about Pauline. Pauline's from the UK. Okay, hey, Curly girl. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, let me just lay this out so you all are aware. Okay, I'm going to be uploading on here every day. Some of the uploads will be inspirational and motivational things that I upload, like 20 to 30 minutes long. I'm also going to be doing some lives, right? I'm going to be doing lives as per usual. And the uploads, I'll do those as well. But here's the thing. Those who have the memberships, you'll get different uploads than other people. Okay? You'll get uploads than other people. Hold on. Let me check something real quick. Hold on. I'm trying to see something. Queen is clearly feeding us on this channel. I am loving this so much. Thank you, Mr. Hotel, beloved. Okay, I'm trying to check my chats on my phone because on the screen, I can't see who has memberships and who doesn't. I'm like, where's y'all's little membership badges that I made you all? Okay, all right. So anyway, we're going to be talking about sleep paralysis. Now, here's the thing. It is my opinion that sleep paralysis and night terror, or not night terrors, I'm going to say sleep paralysis, which is the scientific explanation they have for when you wake up and you can't move and things like that. I don't consider that to be the same thing as people who wake up and they feel like there's an evil presence in the room, a malevolent spirit. People have seen these things. Some people have not actually seen them, but felt the presence, and they haven't been able to move either or even to speak. Now, I don't think they're the same thing, but scientists and many doctors seem to think that it's the same thing, and that people who feel that they're seeing these visions or whatever, that they're hallucinating. Well, I don't believe that, because I've actually seen things and I wasn't able to move. And I don't think it was sleep paralysis, which is absolutely something that the body does, in my opinion. I think it was something nefarious, the times that it happened to me. And so we'll get more into that. But I'm going to do this brief PowerPoint presentation, and then I'm going to let you guys hear some audio from people who have experienced it. And then you draw your own conclusions as to whether you think it's just something scientific or whether you think it's something from the spiritual realm. Okay, because remember, there's malevolent spirits in the spiritual realm, just as well as there are benevolent spirits. Okay, so what I'm saying is angels and demons, right? They all exist in the spiritual realm. So some of the things that I'm going to be teaching you as we go along, some of these things are going to be about divine beings, and things like that, and positive things. But some of these will be about the lower vibrational things that we encounter also, just so you all know. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this PowerPoint that I have prepared. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. You know how important it is to like and share the videos. Please try to share the videos with at least 2 to 5 people if you can, okay? Because I'm trying to grow this channel. And also, if you haven't gotten a membership to the channel, you really should get one, because you don't want to miss out on the things that are going to be drops, okay? And there's going to be all sorts of fun things that we're going to be doing, and you don't want to be left out. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so let me share my screen. Here we go. Okay. Sleep paralysis. Now, what is sleep paralysis? What does sleep paralysis feel like? During a sleep paralysis episode, you're aware of your surroundings, but you cannot move or speak. You can still move your eyes and breathe. Now, many people hear or see things that aren't there, hallucinations, making the episodes even more frightening. You're waking up or falling asleep, and suddenly you're unable to move. Your body becomes paralyzed as if an unseen weight is upon you. You may be unable to move your arms or legs, body, and head. You can breathe and think, but you may be unable to speak. The paralysis may last for only seconds or a few minutes. Then it disappears and you're able to move again. This describes a typical episode of sleep paralysis. It is a common sleep disorder that is classified as a parasomnia. Episodes can cause you to feel intense anxiety. Now, mind you, the things that I'm telling you, this is what scholars and scientists, this is what they say. Now, sleep paralysis occurs when the line between sleep and wakefulness is blurred. Normally, your brain paralyzes many of your muscles during the stage of rapid eye movement sleep, or REM sleep. This paralysis is called atonia. You may experience sleep paralysis if atonia lingers as you wake from the REM sleep. It also may occur if you transition quickly from wakefulness into REM sleep. Sleep paralysis may occur together with hallucinations. You may imagine that you see or hear something. You may even think that someone else or something is in the room with you. You see, as I have told you all before on a previous broadcast, that scientists, they like to come up with logical explanations for things. Many scientists don't believe in the spiritual realm. They don't believe in malevolent entities, demons, and things like that. They don't believe in life after death. They don't believe in a lot of these things. So what they do is they seek to find logical scientific explanations. Now, what I'll say is I absolutely agree with what they're saying about sleep paralysis. I absolutely agree, because I don't think that when people wake up and can't move, as I told you, and they feel an evil presence in the room, or they see an evil presence, or they hear footsteps or whatever, I don't think that's sleep paralysis. I think these are two separate occurrences. I think that some people are under demonic attack from incubus or succubus, or from some other malevolent being. Okay, now, so let me continue. Sleep paralysis may occur together with hallucinations. You may imagine that you see or hear something, or you may even think someone else is in the room with you. Across cultures, the strange sensation of sleep paralysis has evoked some vivid descriptions. Now, in 1664, a Dutch physician published a case history of a woman with sleep paralysis. They say the devil lay upon her and held her down. This is what the doctor wrote. Now, in Japan, sleep paralysis is called kanashabari, the term rooted in Buddhism. Long ago, it is believed, or was believed, that Buddhist monks could use magic to paralyze others. In Newfoundland, sleep paralysis has been called an attack of old hag. That's what they call it down in the country, okay, where I'm from. They call it the old hag riding your back or a witch is riding your back. These are not the same as sleep paralysis, in my opinion. Though you will be paralyzed as this is occurring, I don't think it's sleep paralysis because sleep paralysis is something that occurs when the brain shuts off certain muscle or, paralyzes your muscles if you awaken and if your brain awakes and your body's not fully awake. Okay, that's how scientists pretty much sum that up. But I don't think that's the same thing. Now, goes on to say in China, it has been labeled ghost oppression. A new study reports that in Mexico, people may say that sleep paralysis feels like a dead body climbed on top of them. That's what one person said. They felt like a dead body climbed on top of me. That's what this lady said. Now, sleep deprivation may trigger an episode of sleep paralysis. Other related factors may include stress and sleep-related leg cramps. Sleep paralysis tends to be only a mild problem. There are no medical complications, but it also can be one symptom of narcolepsy. Throughout history, people across the globe have reported incidents of waking in the night unable to move with feelings that a presence has trapped them in their beds. Many liken the experience to a demon or dark creature sitting on their chest holding down their body. Well, I absolutely think that's exactly what it was. For the people that saw something or felt that sensation, I think that's what it was. I think it was a demon on top of them. Now, these encounters have slowly worked their way into culture as folkloric tales of sleep demons paralyzing their victims to capture their souls. Modern scholars speculate that many of these incidents are actually reports of a condition known as sleep paralysis, where sufferers feel their brain has awoken before their body, leaving them unable to move or speak for a short period of time. Well, I absolutely think that happens, like I said, but it's not the same as these demons attacking you in your sleep. Now, the idea of a sleep paralysis demon is still associated with the condition today. Cultures around the world have created many different interpretations of this phenomenon. One of the most common representations is the night hag, a supernatural malevolent being that stands on a person's chest as they sleep. Elsewhere, sleep paralysis demons are believed to be the ghosts of deceased relatives or even aliens. As one of the top 10 sleep demons, the witch demon is perhaps the one we most commonly associate with horror movie imagery. Dream interpreter Inbal Hanigman explains the most common themes in sleep paralysis experiences, saying that most sleep paralysis nightmares fall under three main categories. One, primarily the dreamer perceives to be viewing a humanoid shadow, such as a half man, old hag, or monster, believing someone is in the room with them. I'm sorry, that says hat man, not half man. A second widespread nightmare is the inability to scream, someone compressing their chest or even struggling to breathe. And the third one is hearing something terrifying like a buzzing or screaming, a scream. Now, this is the story about a woman named Lauren. Lauren's experience of a smiling man sleep demon. Now, this is why I say I absolutely do not think that certain things are sleep paralysis. I think it's sleep demons. Okay, so marketing manager Lauren, age 30, explains. She says, I couldn't move, but could see this man leering above me with a huge smile across his face. I used to have nightmares about a man stabbing me. It was always the same man, but when I woke up, I couldn't move and couldn't scream. Unpacking Laura's experience, Inbal offers dreaming of being stabbed is linked with fear of betrayal or deceit. Stabbing is quick and quiet. It's not dramatic like a gunshot. So in a dream, it symbolizes an underhand action, dishonest and subtle. So the doctor is trying to say basically that she was dreaming. Okay, but I think that people know whether they're asleep or awake. Now, they say that it was time that it was the same figure leering and smiling strengthens this explanation. A friendly face up front, a violent hand below. This experience demonstrates anxiety and an inability to trust those around them. Well, that would make sense if it were a dream. That would absolutely make sense. But I don't think she was dreaming, and neither does she. Now, Brian's experience of a shadowy sleep demon. This is another person's story. Graphic designer Brian, age 30, tells us, he says, I have woken up a few times not being able to move anything except my head. I tried raising my voice to wake myself up, but no words came out, just noise. There have been a couple of different sleep demons. Once it looked like the girl from The Ring. A few other times it's been like a tall, shadowy figure in the corner of the room. Inbal adds that, now mind you, Inbal is the doctor. Inbal adds that a humanoid shadowy figure is one of the most common anxiety dreams reported by many people across all cultures. Whether it's in a state of sleep paralysis or not, it represents the shadow aspect of the dreamer themselves, the parts of their personality that they're ashamed of, unhappy about, or that they would like to change. It can be perceived as a haunting, but it is representation of all of the person's darkest emotions that they like to keep in the shadows. Now, I'm sorry, this doesn't make sense to me. If people across different cultures are having or seeing the same figure and describing it in the same way, this has to be something that people are seeing, as far as I'm concerned. It's very unlikely that everyone would be having this feeling or these thoughts or dreams and the entity look exactly the same. Now, Sarah's experience of a spider sleep demon. So, PR executive Sarah, age 28, commented, I have it if I ever sleep on my back. I usually see loads of spiders above me or on my face, and I can't move or escape. A couple of times I've been sure I felt someone sit down on the end of my bed, too. And then Dr. Inbal explains anxiety dreams about spiders are quite common. Seeing them scuttling out of the shadows shows a fear of the unknown, of what is hidden between the seen and unseen. The feeling of the bed moving is quite unique to sufferers of sleep paralysis. As the state of paralysis starts to loosen its grip on the dreamer, the uncertain physical changes in the body could make it seem as if the bed is moving. Well, the bed is moving, okay? When demons come around and bother you at night in your sleep, they will absolutely make your bed levitate, shake, and things like that. I've seen footage of this happening to someone. All of Inbald's interpretations of these three very different sleep paralysis experiences come down to one thing: anxiety. Interestingly, anxiety is often cited as a trigger for sleep paralysis. Well, I believe that is true. But again, I don't think sleep paralysis and sleep demons are the same thing. Now, here's what I do believe when they talk about people hallucinating during sleep paralysis. Well, the hallucinations are likely, in my opinion, hypnagogic hallucinations. And you see, hypnagogic hallucinations are hallucinations that happen as you're falling asleep. They're common and usually not a cause for concern. Up to 70% of people experience them at least once. A hallucination is a false perception of objects or events involving your senses: sight, sound, smell, touch, and taste. Examples include a sensation of impending threat, feelings of suffocation, and sensations of floating, spinning, or falling. Hypnagogic hallucinations occur in 40 to 80% of patients with narcolepsy and cataplexy. So that's what I think the hallucinations are. But I don't think people are hallucinating when they feel like there's a dark entity, a shadowy figure standing in the corner. I know they're not hallucinating because I have seen some of these things. Okay. So with that all being said, has anyone in the chat experienced anything like this where you woke up in the middle of the night and you couldn't move? Once in the chat, if you've ever experienced something like that. Curly Girl says, I used to have two little dwarfs around my bed, just whispering and looking. They wouldn't do anything. Other dreams, I would jump on my arm, I would sling it. They would jump on your arm, you would sling it, and it would fly against the wall, but I wasn't scared. Let me tell you something. I'm so glad you brought that up. Now, you said two little dwarfs, Curly Girl. Well, let me tell you what happened to me once, and this was like probably 20 years ago. So, approximately about 20 years ago, I was asleep and I was awakened by a noise. And I could see what's going on in the room, but I couldn't move. I couldn't say a word. And I saw three dwarfs, not two, like you said. I saw 3 of them. They were very short and stubby. And there was 3 of them peeping in the room at me. They proceeded to run into the room and they started beating me with their little fist. They were fighting me like they were attacking me. And I was laying there trying to move, trying to get up, trying to scream. I couldn't do anything. And then finally, I was able to get a word out and I called on Jesus to help me. Of course, that's back when I was all into Christianity and into the church and all of that. And I called on Jesus to help me. And then they disappeared. They absolutely disappeared. So then there was another time when I awakened and I couldn't move. And I saw this figure in the room. It was standing. There were like steps to get down into my bedroom. There's like 3 steps you had to walk down to get into my bedroom. This was like years ago. And so when I woke up, there was a dark, shadowy figure standing there. It had on a black cape and a black hood. And I couldn't see the face. I could just see the glowing eyes. Clearly, it was a demon, okay? Clearly, it was a demon. And so Mommy said, I did the same thing, Queen, okay? So with that all being said, honey, this was no hallucination. I know what I saw. And here's the thing. To prove that it wasn't a hallucination, now Curly Girl said she saw the 2 dwarfs. Well, I saw dwarfs too, but it was 3. There was another woman that worked with me at a job years ago named Daphne. And she came and was telling me that when she was a little girl, she said she used to always have these 3 little dwarfs that would come and play with her and her sister. And they would be talking to them. But her mother could never see them. Their mother always thought they were talking to imaginary friends. But she said she was talking to these 3 little dwarfs. And they were telling them bad things to do. Clearly, they were demons or imps, as some people call them. That's the same thing that I saw. So this cannot just be something that people are hallucinating about. This cannot just be, in my opinion, things that people are making up. So the same for me. I saw a dwarf with sharp teeth, says Nessie. See, you understand what I'm saying? So how is it that numerous people see the same things? We can't all be hallucinating about the same thing, right? That's all crazy. I have had this since a child, but my previous house was the worst. Saw a figure and heard walking. Felt like someone was choking me. Moved and never seen it again. Experienced it when sleeping in my living room. Okay, so now listen to this. There is a documented case of a woman who was being attacked. I believe her name was Carolyn Marina. There was a movie made about it called The Entity. This woman was being sexually assaulted in her sleep by a demon. She couldn't move. She couldn't say anything. And this thing would just be taking advantage of her. Now, I don't think these things are made up and just hallucinations. She would wake up with bruises on her thighs, her arms, and things like that. Okay. And there were some people in a village. That they were saying, and these were Black people. I forget the name of the village, but they were in a documentary about sleep paralysis. And they were saying that many of the villagers experienced things happening to them at night, where something was entering their room while they were asleep. They weren't able to move. And this one man said that the thing raped him. He, in fact, said that when he woke up, there was fluid, and you know what kind I'm talking about, on his back. Incubus and succubus. That's likely what it was, one of the two. So with that all being said, I'm going to let you all hear this audio of some of the stories that people have told. First of all, before I let you hear that, I'm going to let you hear what a doctor says about sleep paralysis. Okay, so everyone please get the likes up. Please like and share. I'm going to let you all hear what the doctor has to say about this. And I'm not going to show the video because I don't have permission. I'm going to put something on the screen. Okay, here we go.
And sleep physiology, but some of you have been commenting in the YouTube comments saying that you've had sleep paralysis before. Is this folklore or is there science behind it? We're going to hash it out in this video and talk you through what we know about sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis has literally been the stuff of nightmares for thousands of years. Stories of this phenomenon can be found all across the world, with supernatural undertones passed on through traditional fairy tales. Canadian Eskimos believed that shamanic spells could paralyze people and induce hallucinations during their sleep. In Japanese culture, kanashibari, kane meaning metal and shibaru meaning to bind or tie, is associated with a sleep demon that strangles the victim while they sleep. Similar tales originate from Brazil, Spain, and China, describing shapeless creatures, intruders, and ghosts as the perpetrators. More modern interpretations are those of alien abductions, often featuring humanoid beings with large bug eyes, carrying out medical or even sexual experiments on their abductees. This is some scary stuff, but let's take a deeper look into the science and the evidence. So what is sleep paralysis? These are more commonly known as night terrors, and they're a part of a group of sleep disorders called parasomnias. These conditions manifest as behavioral disorders, associated in particular with waking up during sleep. Episodes of sleep paralysis in particular occur just as you're about to doze off or wake up, when you expect it the least. If you think this is a rare phenomenon, think again. Nearly 1 in 10 people in the general population will experience sleep paralysis in their lifetime. Despite this, our definition and understanding of the disorder is poor. But what do we actually know? Sleep paralysis can happen in healthy individuals as a one-off event, but ongoing episodes have been linked with underlying psychiatric, hereditary, and other sleep disorders. It usually doesn't last longer than a few minutes at a time, and it can be linked with the dream-filled portion of sleep, otherwise known as the rapid eye movement or REM phase of sleep. This allows your eyes to continue moving as normal, together with your chest muscles that help you breathe, whilst other voluntary muscle movements like your limbs or your arms and your legs are stopped or inhibited. When REM-based atonia or paralysis intrudes into wakefulness, it causes the dream world and the real world to collide, producing terrifying illusions, hallucinations, and sensations. People who experience sleep paralysis report 3 different types of hallucinations. The first is the incubus. This is the feeling of weight or pressure on the chest whilst being choked or suffocated. The second sensation is that of an intruder in the bedroom. Traditionally, this would be some kind of malevolent presence or spirit, which is personalized and interpreted through visual, tactile, and kinetic cues. And lastly are vestibulomotor hallucinations. That's the feeling of dissociation, or to you and me, an out-of-body experience.
Okay, so I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to let you all hear some more audio. But let me say this. So Desmond, and I want you all to pay attention. Desmond, thank you for your donation to the channel and for your insight to the topic. But Desmond, beloved, you just told on yourself. Now, Desmond, if you all were paying attention, just admitted to sleeping on the job. Desmond said that he had a dream that a demon was chasing him and his brother. It had claws or whatever. It was a witch or a demon. I can't remember. But he said in the chat that it had claws and it was chasing him and his twin brother. And that he said Jesus and his co-worker looked at him crazy. Now, why would his co-worker look at him crazy? Well, because he was asleep at work. Pay attention. And so with that all being said, he then comes back with another comment and says, I was at work. Well, Desmond was asleep at work. Everyone pay attention to what not to do at a job. Okay? Mr. Hotel says, sit down, Desmond. Carl said, busted. Okay. But also, Howard, I saw your comment. Howard said, Popo Bawa is the sleep demon in Africa. That is what the man said. That's absolutely the one that the man was talking about, that he said graped him. Yes. Okay. And so thank you for that, beloved. Queen, I have experienced a few times where my body felt heavy and then all of a sudden my whole body felt like it jumped. Yes, I've had that sensation too. I'm going to tell you what it felt like. Now, it felt like to me that something landed in my chest. Deb said, I got you, Queen. Thank you, Desmond. So anyway, there was a time when I woke up and I couldn't move or speak, and it felt like something just landed on top of me, like it went inside of my chest or something like that. Now, but I didn't feel anything malevolent going on. I think that was actually sleep paralysis, as they scientifically explained it. Because it was during a state where I was really, really sleep deprived, hadn't been to sleep for maybe 2 days because I was working so much. And I think that's likely was likely um a hypnagogic hallucination, perhaps, or something like that. But it wasn't anything nefarious that time. But other times there have been. Okay, so that's why I say I don't think they're the same thing. So Demi said, I sleep good. You sleep good, beloved? Well, good. I sleep good now. Miss Hotel said, these are my confessions, Desmond. So with that all being said, I'm going to let you all hear some from a sleep paralysis documentary. Okay, what some people had to say when they shared their stories. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm going to let you all hear some excerpts from it. And there was a particular timestamp I wanted to start at. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, we're going to get into that. I'm going to put the overlay back up on the screen. Everyone, please make sure you like and share. Please be sure to get those likes up. Okay, thank you in advance.
You're awake, alert, conscious of your surroundings, able to respond to your surroundings. Imagine that as your wake-up system turns down, if there's a problem with particular neurotransmitters, it may not be inhibiting the other system. So this one may turn on before this one turns off. So you have two systems on now. So you're awake and you're dreaming. If sleep paralysis might help us understand why these visions seem so real, can it also help explain the shared scenario experienced in the attacks? A way in which the hallucination might build might be from the case in which you imagine that there's something on your chest. Perhaps it's simply the fact that you can't take a deep breath because you are paralyzed after all. One interpretation is that because there's something on your chest preventing you from taking a deep breath. If you've also had a visual hallucination, it's easy now to conclude that whatever that thing was, that is now what is on your chest. Initially, often it's simply a feeling that there's something there. And you are searching for it. If your eyes are closed, you feel that if you just open your eyes, it would be there. If your eyes are open, it may be just out of sight. Perhaps you will see it. Perhaps you will now start to see some form, some vague shape. Maybe you'll hear something, footsteps, movement in the room. You may actually feel something touching you. And you can see as each of these things happen, the hallucination gets fleshed out so that this vague sense of a presence can become a concrete entity in the room. The condition of sleep paralysis might go some way towards explaining why some people are visited by entities, but there are other accounts which reportedly emerge.
Sorry.
In spite of a normal childhood, Mark Gillen has suffered from particularly disturbing nocturnal attacks since he was a teenager, and still finds them difficult to talk about.
I was only about 17 when this first happened to me. I went to bed as normal, fell asleep, enjoying a good sleep, when probably in the middle of the night, I was wakened by the feeling that someone was in the room. I couldn't explain who it was. I didn't know who it was. I then felt being totally paralysed. The fact that I could not move at all. It was as if the power that was there, the energy, was able to control my body. I was being held down from the back. I could feel his hands on me, I could feel that it was a man. I could feel the size of him. I knew that the size of the person that was there. It was a fully grown man. What happened next was a sexual act. It felt as if there was penetration, as if I could feel him pushing himself on top of me. I thought I was going to die. I thought that they were going to kill me. When the paralysis eventually went away, I felt as if the presence had withdrawn into the corner in the room, that there was some creaking, not literally moving, but it was creaking as if there was something there.
Mark's alleged ordeals have been so severe that they've caused a strain in his relationship with his fiancée.
Barry refuses to talk about this for one reason. We went through a terrible time with it. I think the fact that I've not been able to cope with this, as well as what I should have done, has actually contributed towards a lot of the problems that we've actually had in the relationship. I still hold possibly a lot of anger. I still have a lot of feelings in my mind as to, what's happened to me. Have I been going mad? I'm fed up with going to bed and worrying.
Mark's attacks are horrifyingly real to him, but Dr. Shane believes that a scientific knowledge of how sleep works might explain not only these attacks, but also the myth of demonic assaults on medieval women.
Sexual assaults are not common, but they certainly occur during REM. Males have erections. There's also clear.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. So with that all being said, let me tell you all something. Some of this stuff can be scientifically explained, absolutely, as I said, but some of these things are demonic attacks. That's just what it is. I have woken up once in a home that I was living in, and there were two shadowy figures standing by my bed. And I got up and I started praying the 91st Psalm, and they ran into the bathroom and then into the walk-in closet, then disappeared, and there was a huge black cat there that also disappeared. I'm not making this up. That house clearly had some issues. I spoke to the owner, and he said that I was just being distracted, and he said there was nothing wicked that had happened in the house as far as he knew, but that it was probably things that I had on my mind. Honey, I know what I saw. That house it had lots of paranormal activity. Okay, Sister Queen, my parents were frequent customers of Reverend Mother Wonder, my name for her. During that time, I had the witch ride my back. I've got stories. I was 9 through 13 years old. Okay, absolutely. I believe you, beloved. I believe you. Thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. Also, I want to thank Andrea for her contribution. And Andrea said that something shaped like a pear, I think you said, was laying on its side, and it would ask, how's it going? Honey, I would have been out there so fast whenever I could wake up, okay, and move. I would have probably just run out of there. Okay, Afros and Afro Sheen, thanks for your contribution, beloved. And then Stacy Quinn said that her grandfather had passed, and then you woke up and saw him on your bed. I absolutely believe it. These things absolutely happen. Some people are able to see those who have passed on, and some people aren't, and they don't believe in these things. I saw my grandfather on the end of my bed too. I also saw a woman and didn't know who she was, and gave the description of her to my mom, and she said it was my great grandmother. Really? That's very interesting. Now, hold on. Let me go to Mr. Hotel's comment. Thank you for your contribution, Mr. Hotel. Says, Queen, what about foods? I've been told and heard that if you eat certain foods before sleep, that can induce bad things when you sleep. I've heard that too, such as pork. Okay, I've heard that too, such as pork. All right, because you absolutely are what you eat. Okay, you absolutely are what you eat. And I think when you eat toxic things, that probably can make you, because here's the thing, toxic foods that we eat, that does something negative that negatively affects and impacts the pineal gland. Okay, and the pineal gland is operating when you're asleep. So I absolutely think that can make you have bad dreams and things like that. But dreams are not the same as these demons that are holding people down while they're asleep. That's not the same thing. See, some of the scientists want to say that people are dreaming when these things occur. I know the difference, and they're absolutely not dreams when I've seen those things. Influencer says, I too have heard that we are what we eat. Yes, absolutely. Okay, absolutely. I want you to pay attention. People that eat pork, they tend to be, aggressive, hostile, gluttons. They always greedy. And I'm not talking about just eating. I'm talking about like greed for money, just greed for things and stuff like that. Because that's how pigs are. Pay attention. Pigs are greedy. They're gluttons. Pigs are just nefarious. And so if you eat pork, quite frankly, I'm sure you're nefarious, okay? Anybody in here eating pork in 2023? If you are, please let this be your last day. Please do not go into 2023 eating pork. Y'all need to sit down somewhere. It is really not good at all. Okay? It is not. It's disgusting. All right? It is very disgusting. So anyway, and I'm going to tell you something else. Be aware of this new thing they have approved, I do believe, lab-grown meats. Also sick. Everybody needs to be on a plant-based diet at this point, as far as I'm concerned. Lab-grown meats. Are they going to put that on the package when they start selling it? How will you know the difference between that and regular meat? I'm just saying it's all unhealthy and all clearly crazy, okay? They're just trying to get people sick, as far as I'm concerned. So with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Miss Lucille said, no thanks, no pork. I know that's right. Okay. Start fasting, beloved, says Miss Hotel. Absolutely. And also, it's good to every now and then take a parasitic cleanse. Okay. It's good to take a parasitic cleanse. Get you some wormwood tea. Or you can actually get the herb, the loose herbs, wormwood, and put it in some boiling water and make it into a tincture, make it into a tea yourself. It's very sour. It has a very bitter taste. So you just need just a little bit of it. Make sure you have you some honey. If you've been, hold on, what did they say about KFC? If you've been eating KFC, you already eating cloned meat. Ooh, Khalid Harleem, I believe that. I absolutely believe that. So anyway, with that all being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. And make sure you like and share. Make sure you like and share, okay? And if you haven't gotten your memberships to the channels, they're still available. They're going to be available, honey. I saw somebody ask in the chat the other day if they were so. And yes, they absolutely are. Thank you for reminding me. Also, can you mix wormwood with other teas? Yes, of course you can. Yeah, absolutely. I mix teas together all the time, herbal teas. Yeah. Okay. So with that all being said, I wish you all love, peace, and prosperity. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. And listen, make sure that you do not forget to say your positive affirmations. It's very important to say those on a daily basis. And also, don't forget to use the pointers that I gave you in the video about metacognition. Okay. Sometimes when we want to change things, the first way to start is to change our minds. Move away from negative thinking into positivity, and you will see better results. Okay. Also, don't forget that I have spiritual consultations. I have spiritual consultations. I think the moderators may have put in the chat, but spiritual consultations, you can schedule those with me. You need to send me an email to the shakuramadiah@gmail.com email address. And those are $30 for 30 minutes. Okay. So if anyone is interested in that, just make sure you send me an email and I'll see what I can do. Queen, I'm thinking about getting a colonic, Bree says. That's a good idea, Bree. That's a good idea, beloved. Absolutely. Loved your earlier video, says Golden Apple. Thank you, beloved. Okay. Vince I am says, thank you, Queen, for a great broadcast with spiritual vitamins. You're welcome. Andrew says, I'm 63, but I'm still learning. Let me tell you something, beloved. I'm still learning too. We're all works in progress. And there is so much knowledge and information that there's always more learning that we can do. That's why people who think they know everything are so annoying, because at the end of the day, no one ever could know everything. There's too many things out there for us to continue to learn. And remember, like I told you all before, a wise man once told me, there's always room for improvement. Okay. And that's what I try to do every day, is improve upon something about myself daily. That's what we all should do. Okay, so I'm going to conclude the broadcast. I wish you all love, peace, and prosperity. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. Keep those vibrations high. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.